Time for Live Now with Dr. Carmen Harra. The show offers profound wisdom, practical advice, daily exercises, and empowering predictions. And now, here's Dr. Carmen Harra.
Hello, everybody. So excited to be with you every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Eastern Time on KMET Radio 1490. It is a call-in show, as you know very well, and the number to call in if you have questions about the topic or if you have different questions about your own life that you want to discuss with me, you want to get my take, you want to communicate your concerns. It's always good to communicate. It's a way of releasing tension, energies, and getting the answers that you've been waiting for. So the number to call in is 951-922-3532. And every week I'm choosing a different topic. So this week I thought of an old topic that I've been underlining in my first book, Everyday Karma, that came more than 20 years ago. And this is the book just to show it to you. Probably you remember this was a pretty a popular book and was my first book. So I'm very proud that it survived the test of time in terms of you can still find it everywhere, which is a good thing. Translated many languages and sold all over the globe. So I'm excited about my first book because the topic is healing relationship with the loved ones. In pretty much healing something that we call the family karma. I'm going to ask you, do you have complicated relationship with your parents? Do you have complicated relationship with your children, with your siblings, with your spouse? Do you wonder why no matter what you do, you just don't seem to enjoy a normal life? Who can you blame? You actually have to get the answer that might lie within your so-called unique family karma, that unique family dynamic. Because karma is an ancient concept that refers to the fact that the karma is a spiritual link that exists between you and those, who contribute to the type of the relationship that you experience. The people around you, there might be family members, there might be close relatives. So in other words, you do have with those people sometimes a very complex and sometimes conflictual relationship. And in many cases, you might have enlightening and uplifting relationship with the people in your life, which is extremely positive. But my conclusion that all this family karma is actually something that is transferred somehow we call it inherited. And I want to teach you today how to mend old wounds with your parents, how to heal rifts and with your siblings, how to develop pretty much a stronger bond with your kids, for instance, and so much more. This is a show that tries to bring the complexity of the topic in the best possible way. And again, if you think what I'm facing, all kinds of problems with my mother, or I am having a lot of issues with my kids, this is the show to call in. Again, 951-922-3532. I encourage you to talk to me if you're not shy, if you're okay to communicate on the radio. You can give me a different name, and let's talk about how can we heal that something that is called spiritually the family karma. Now, as I said, I did mention this in my first book. In my first book, I speak about all past karma, present karma, and I also speak about the three types of karma that are individual, family, and global or collective. So everything that, for instance, is happening in the world right now that affects majority of the people is called a global karma. It's a reflection of something that humanity has been created through centuries of evolution. At the same time, something that is affecting us in the relation to people in our life that has a lot to do with something that I call the family karma. Is the karma meaning the totality of thoughts, action, intention in time that you created or the family created. And family karma refers to the totality of something that has been created within the family dynamic, within the cycle of the family. I've always believed that we are everything. We are everything that our ancestors have ever done. We are just a reflection of accumulating action within the families through centuries, believe it or not. If you look at the Queen of England, if you look at what happened in England, centuries of evolution, when that something is transferred from one generation into the next and into the next, the crown, the power, the blue blood, the belief, and the diamonds, jewelry, everything that has been transferred. So we are just the results of everything our ancestors have been done, and we pretty much wanted to promote that legacy. So everything that we do will be sooner or later reflected in the life of our kids. That's why kids many times experiencing the divorce of their parents will be very much affected. The conflict between the parents will affect the well-being of the kids. That's why I always recommend make sure you don't involve the kids in the dirty business of a divorce or a separation, because karma can be passed down and transferred from grand-grandparents to parents to children. And as I said, it's actually passed down to kids. So haven't you ever had the feeling that things were just escalating and they were escalating negatively into your life? And sometimes you question, where are all these things coming from? And many of the famous families actually have been experiencing the family karma in a big way. And I'm going to give you a brief example. The Kennedy family. Everybody said, well, this family is cursed because the unusual number of premature death, tragedy, scandals that took place in the family, from the killing of JFK to the killing of Robert, his brother, that were both assassinated. Then Kennedy hunted for an incident in Chappaqua. William Kennedy Smith tried for rape. Also, I predicted the Jeff Kennedy Jr. death in a couple of occasions. And I do have tapes. It's hard to believe that something like this could have been anticipated. And it has been very tragic. Everything we've seen in this family has been looking like so negative, and people interpret this like a curse. But the reality is that they've been dealing with accumulated family karma that has been passed on. So whatever has been happening has been transferred to the generation. So I do believe that nowadays, there's such an effort to stop this karma to be transferred to the next generation of this family. So for some family, is one tragedy after another. Early death, scandals, nothing works. But there are beautiful, there are also positive situations when something good is transferred from one generation into the next. Very important it is to acknowledge that family karma is real, it does exist, and we need to know how to deal with it, and we need to identify. And I'm going to tell you that most families' karma are extremely complex, extremely intense, extremely powerful. In that when you hear somebody say something like, I have problems in my family, I will respond, well, no family is perfect. But your family is perfect for your karma. And what do I mean by this? I mean that you choose your family members before. We used to say you sign a contract before coming in this earth. This is the ancient belief that your souls made contract with each other, and they agree to come in a certain family where they have to go to experience specific situation that contributes to their spiritual evolution. Because sometimes through pain and suffering, you actually evolve. You create the miracle of life. But you choose the child who would disobey you, and you choose the mother who will not get along with her child. So each person in your family is there to teach you a certain lesson, and that is the lesson that your soul actually signed up for. So this is the belief. But larger than the light bond, the family shines through sorrow, and joys always prevail. So the divine connection that exists within a family is a light that cannot be dimmed, no matter the distance between its family members. So some family relationships require not only patience, but an understanding of both their psychological and karmic component. So if we take into consideration the karma of parents and child relationship, begin to understand that people can reincarnate into different genders, and that parents and children might reverse their role in another life. So it turns the table as parents become children again, and vice versa. It depends on what kind of a karma we share. So that's why look into your family. If you say, well, I have this type of a relationship with my mom, or I have this type of a relationship with my sister or with my husband, and then you will draw your own conclusion. You will understand. And many parents who aren't actually biological parents to their children feel the same way. A mother who adopts a child, or a father who enters a child's life through marriage, may feel that that child was supposed to be his own child. That was part of a destiny. That's because the stepfather, adoptive parent, could have been parents to this kid in another life, in a former life. So many things become possible if we think this way. The connection is not less powerful just because time has elapsed or the souls have been reincarnated into the new bodies. But on the contrary, the need of two souls to become together and intensify, actually. So I will touch upon something that is also a karmic imprint of a relationship that we have to our kids. And it's also has a lot to do with our action, and has a lot to do with the way we grow and the way our kids evolve spiritually. And that has to do with allowing the kids freedom. Now, one world that's inseparable from parenthood is sacrifice. So your parents naturally want to give you everything. That's natural. That's normal. That is majority of the cases. But how much sacrifice is too much? When you're being too generous or too permissive, is that a good thing? Is that for your own good? When does sacrifice cross the limit of good parenting? That's something that you should frame it and put it on the wall. Put that question and ask yourself, when is that the right moment? So when it comes to granting your parents or your children freedom, you must weigh the karmic implication of your choice. So it's very important to sacrifice, but that sacrifice should be done within the healthy bonds, the healthy limits. If you are a parent, do not attempt to interfere with the personal karma of your kids. So if you sacrifice too much, you merge your karma with that of your child, and you create even more negative karmic implication for them instead of good. So that's because you can stop them from learning the lesson they have to learn, and they have the lesson they have to pass through life. So your journey is your own. While you can help clear the path for your loved ones, you can carry them on the shoulder down the road. So remember that. Know always the limit and how much you can interfere in your kids' life, or how much you can help your kids. Because children sometimes, on the other hand, sacrifice too much for their parents, and they're not supposed to. They relinquish their freedom in order to be dutiful and please mom and dad. They give up their personal dreams because they interfere with their parents' life. So that's also wrong. So you have to know the limits. You have to know when to set boundaries. You have to know how much you should allow your kids freedom, and how much you should interfere, and how much you can ask from your kid. So talking about karma, so that's a very, very significant aspect of a relationship between parents and children, or you within the family with any other member. There's another thing that I want to discuss with you, but I will take a short break. It's about the conflict and envy in family. Envy is like a green-eyed monster that makes you feel miserable when other people are happy, and very happy when other people are miserable. So many women struggle with not getting along with a family member, and there's some kind of a jealousy between mother-daughter, jealousy between sisters. So you see jealousy between siblings all the time. And although it seems wrong in theory, because a mother should never be jealous of a daughter, or daughter should never be jealous of a mother, it's actually happening. This sometimes seems very common, and people don't really realize what's going on underneath and the damage that can be created here. And many parents haven't worked through their own issues about feeling victimized by life, although their love for kids, is very strong. But to heal the relationship and to heal everything that's within you that has to do with your emotion is a very significant thing to do. The mother-daughter bond is actually, in my opinion, one of the most intense and powerful bonds that exists when we're talking about the family karma. And anyone who's been experiencing an intense bond can tell that some of the aspects of the mother-daughter relationship might not be that positive. Because all of a sudden the competitive aspect comes, the deep nature mother-daughter bond that leads to jealousy, conflict, sometimes hostility. I'm hearing a lot of women telling me, I haven't spoken with my mother. I don't know what my mother does. I'm not in touch with my mother. So mother-daughter often disturbed by issues of identity. Women often say, I don't want to end up like my mother. I don't want to end up like her. She's been divorced. She's miserable. She's alone. She's old. But yet you actually don't realize that you will end up exactly like your mother. Because blood is blood after all, and you don't realize there's a lot of imprints within you, believe it or not, at the cellular level that will manifest. So maybe a woman hates the fact that her mother, as I said, struggled in her own life, and she doesn't want that to happen to herself. But she will have to work extra hard to prevent her own divorce. She will have to work extra hard not to go through the experience that she already witnessed. We used to say that what we experience would manifest. Remember that. What you experience, you'll manifest. If you experience that in your family, you might attempt to manifest. There is a struggle to keep yourself both apart and to close the door to the mother figure into your life. So think about it, so to eliminate the jealousy, the animosity between a child and a mother, you have to evaluate its source. So if you're listening to my show and said, yeah, it's true, I kind of fight with my mom. What should I do? Go to the source, to the root of the problem, and relinquish a bit of honest introspection into your past as a kid, and ask yourself, were my parents always happy for me? Or did one of them feel resentful towards me or my success or my upbringing? What is it that generated this jealousy tendency towards the identity of your kid or of your parents? So, and eliminate those. So what you are struggling with in your family is very, very powerful for your well-being, very powerful for your health, very powerful for living the life you always wanted to live. Again, 951-922-3533 is the number to call in because this is such a powerful topic. And I'm going to take a short break, then go to Julia. And after that, I want to tell you about the 9 ways to heal family relationship and make a relationship between you and your family become functional, very significant. Because if you're not in good terms with your family, if there are always conflict and fights and you're not talking and you are disconnected from each other, that is a very dysfunctional relationship that you need to work on. So I'm going to take a short break. Then Julia, get ready. I'll be with you in a second. Back on KMET 1490, a station affiliated to ABC Radio. Very excited to be with you today and talking about the topic that I first discussed in my book, Everyday Karma, published more than 20 years ago by Random House. At that time, Random House was the biggest publishing house in the world. So I was really lucky So this is my first book. And if you want to read much more about different types of karma, and your individual, your family, the global karma, that pretty much explains everything that's happening in the world right now, you're going to get a different understanding about why is the world in such a conflict right now, and why the accumulated karma is displayed right now globally. So that's the book, Everyday Karma, my first book. But then I touch upon relationship, family karma relationship in another book that I published like 5 years ago called The Karma Queen's Guide to Relationship. So this I published with my daughter, Alexandra, who's a creative writer, graduated with 2 masters from Tufts University in creative writing. So I talk about the truth about karma in relationships. So very significant to understand why, you don't get along with the people in your family that you should get along, and how to change that. So these are the 2 books in which I go in great length explaining the concept. And the more you read, the more you get it, the more you will say, it kind of makes sense. I kind of understand what's going on with me, why things are the way they are. So you start having a different perception about your own action and what should you do to heal a dysfunctional relationship. And these are the books that I highly recommend: Everyday Karma and the Karma Queen's Guide to Relationship. But I'm going to go to Julia right now. Hi, Julia, my dear. How are you, my love?
Hi, my dear. I'm doing well. How are you today?
Good. Pretty excited to talk to you, like always. I'm glad that you are my faithful listener and you always call, which is great. I know there are a lot of people listening, but they're not calling. But you have always an interaction with me, which I really love. So how's everything with you, and how can I help you with this topic, or if there's anything in particular you want to ask me?
Yeah, so I'm not too keen to learn more about my family karma, but I would like to ask you something. I know you have described in your book that Virgil was your soulmate, and you had a great relationship with him. But other than that, I remember very clearly that you told me this relationship had a karmic component, or it was karmic as well. And my question is, Carmen, is it possible that you can find your soulmate and this relationship can have as well a karmic component?
Absolutely. So relationship, many times that is karmic, can become a soulmate, or there are soulmate relationships that have the foundation that is karmic. What does it mean, a karmic foundation? 2 people who they meet in a lifetime and they have always a sense of knowing each other, and they connect right away. It means that most likely there is a karmic component, meaning memories. The number one significance of the concept of karma, in my understanding, is the memory that exists in the reactive side of the brain, which is the subconscious mind. So if you consider the fact for a second that this man I met, I kind of knew, I felt we knew each other before, then we were brought in this life again together. And we were brought because there have been many things in the past that we experienced already. Probably some of them we never finished. And what I have a feeling in my own life, because you touch upon me, giving me as an example, I never finished. The karma with the man I love happened to be the soulmate, the man I got along extremely well, and I love him dearly, and I always love him, and I will never even try to think to replace him because this was such a unique relationship. So consequently, a relationship that comes from previous incarnation, karma meaning incarnation, operates on the memory of the soul, and in many cases it can become a soulmate, or can have the component of a soulmate relationship. I think that people work on building soulmate relationship. It comes with your own participation. I mean, a relationship has all the ingredients to be great, but if you don't participate in the right way, if you don't want to work on that every relationship requires work. If it's karmic, not karmic, soulmate, compromise, whatever it is, a relationship means communication, interaction, emotional intimacy. So there are many components that lead to a relationship to be fulfilling. So what I'm trying to answer your question in a more complex way, that yes, the foundation of a relationship that is soulmate in many cases is actually karmic, coming from the memory of your soul.
I got you. Because in my experience, all my love relationships have been karmic, and because all of them ended badly and I suffered a lot, now I got the impression that this time it has to be the same, and I give a negative connotation to this relationship because this is my experience. And I was reading in a book that if it's karmic, then the karma is ending suddenly and you can do nothing about that. So I'm always expecting that.
No, karma, I need to interrupt you. Because I need to clarify something before you go any further in understanding that. So karma ends abruptly if it's resolved. So let's say you resolve something karmic, the door is closed, and then there's nothing else to be resolved. And then you can disconnect from that person without looking back, without needing to resolve anything else, because everything has been resolved. You understand? So it's significant to understand that it only ends abruptly if a karmic aspect of that relationship has really ended. So, okay, you came together in this life, you had something to do together. When that something is done, clear, resolved, then you can actually move on. You understand? And there's nothing else to work on anymore. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But also, as you sent in the email before the show today, you said that some karmas are complex and conflictual, others are enlightening and uplifting.
True, absolutely. That's correct. So some karmic elements are very positive. Some elements that are karmic are negative because the memories that you brought, like in your case, you said, well, I had all kinds of relationships. They were not really good. I struggle, you know what I mean? And I keep on repeating. Yeah. So what you created once with one person tends to repeat again, because you will manifest something that you've already experienced. If your original experience is negative, you might tend to repeat it. So you had a bad experience with a man, the next one. So there are women who come to me and ask me, why do I attract the same alcoholic? Why do I bring in my life always the man who's cheating on me? So because of the repetition of something that already has happened. That's why when we come in this world, we come so pure with no imprints other than those in the memory. But if we create something negative all the way from the beginning, in other words, we go in a relationship that's horrible, chances are of repeating a bad relationship are very high. It's exactly like, okay, I had a disease, and the chances for that disease to come back are very high. So this is when a cell has memory. Your subconscious mind lives on the memory, 90% of it. So memory plays a role because it repeats itself. And karma means repetition. So make sure you don't allow. So when things is resolved, when you don't repeat that situation, when you break to the situation, being miserable in every relationship, and you find the best guy in your life and have the most beautiful marriage. You understand? So breaking patterns of behavior and creating a new reality means breaking patterns that are karmic, resolving them and moving into a different direction. You understand? And shifting the energy 180 degrees in the other pole.
Yeah, it's sometimes, I don't know. I met someone, I feel good about him. I don't know. He behaves to me really nice, but because this relationship is karmic, I got the impression it's gonna end bad and it's not gonna be the one. And I just all these thoughts that are popping out in my mind all the time, so they are blocking me too.
But anyhow, the most important thing for you is to always project the ideal relationship that you want to have, to manifest that particular one. That's why, visualizing, affirmation, manifestation is a result of your thoughts, of your words, of everything that you write down, everything that you project. So make sure you keep on doing all your exercises so you can bring into your life the right guy. because it's going to happen.
I understand you. Okay. And then last question, I have a colleague at work, and at one point I lent her a sum of money. And then she gave me back, and then she's telling me she needs again. Is this a good habit to lend money to people that are in need, or?
I don't talking about karma. I think that's a karmic interference with the lesson that somebody needs to learn to generate their own income. That's why I'm one of those people who I don't believe in lending money. No matter how much money I have, I will not lend, because I will allow that person to learn the lesson. Money is a lesson. Handling financial, you don't actually help a person by lending money. That's why the person is coming back. And chances are for that person not to give you back the money are very high. Because if you continue to lend, so my advice to you would be, don't do it anymore. Thank God she gave you the money back. But if she comes back for begging for more, just tell him at this point in time, you don't have it. You have something to pay. So cut the cord with that, because she will never stop asking you for money. You create a pattern of behavior that keeps on repeating, and might have a bad ending. Plus, you interfere with her own karma. I don't lend money to my kids. I don't lend money to my best friend. I don't believe in that. That's a karmic interference with the lesson the person needs to learn.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Thank you so much, then. I appreciate your answers.
Okay, my beautiful June.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I love you. I'm going to go and take a short break, and then I'll be with you in a moment. Hello, everybody. I'm Carmen Harra with my show today, September 23rd, on KMET Radio 1490, affiliated with ABC Radio. I'm so excited to be with you talking about a concept that exists since the dawn of time. It goes back to the Sanskrit language, the concept of karma, the totality of your thoughts, your intention, your action, resulting in the memory of the subconscious mind. So we operate on memory. Everything that exists deep in the layers of the reactive side of the brain will sooner or later continue to manifest. So the topic today is how to heal relationship. And I'm going to give you something that I consider the 9 ways to heal family relationship and create a functional relationship. First of all, and then I'm going to take Susan's call immediately, but I want you to put your pride aside, because the number one cause of family grief is actually your pride. It's because your ego, your generating of your pride, makes you hold on to the notion that we can only be right and the other person cannot be right. So pride comes between you, your family, your mother, your husband, and it can simply devastate a family, because it can make, how should I put it? It can make a member of the family dissociate from the whole, the totality of the family. And pride makes us lose the sense of unity, and it only makes us look out for ourselves. So many of my clients say that, as I said, they haven't been in touch with their siblings for years. They have never heard anything from their father in 15 years. And that's so sad, so sad. The answer is always involves the me, the fact that I put myself first. In the family, it's easy to find a way not to get along. Just because you are, having this pride, that doesn't mean, and the pride can make you feel, do foolish things that you might sooner or later regret. It doesn't mean that you cannot allow to resolve a matter that has a very significant karmic element that needs to be resolved. So what I recommend always to heal the discord that exists between family members is to set limits for others than yourself, like setting those boundaries that I'm talking about that will allow you, to keep things within limits, and avoid conversation and activity that lead to conflicts. Some people feed into that constant conflict. So that's why a relationship requires a degree of discipline and makes you responsible, to clear scenario that play on your weaknesses or push other people's buttons. So be aware of that, because you can achieve a healthy degree of separation from others so that they can not negatively influence your well-being. So that's important to know. Now, there are many things that I have to tell you here, like meditate and reflect on your emotion is also significant. What we do many times, we ignore our feelings. Also settle all differences. If there's a discord between you and someone in the family, don't leave that situation unsettled. If you're in a conflict with your husband, don't let it unsettle. Go make sure, make a list of everything that you need to talk about and resolve the conflict, because all relationships affect one another. So let's say you have a conflict with your mother, that might be reflected in a conflict with your child. So it's interesting, the complexity of connection that exists within the family. One thing that I always recommend, to refrain you from provocation. There's no need to give in when somebody is pushing your buttons. Please be smart, take a deep breath, go do something else. Don't engage. Don't feed into. Don't give the other person the benefit of give the other person the benefit of a doubt and the opportunity to apologize. So, because these are easy way to resolve it in a simplest way. When somebody's provoking you, be a bigger person and distract yourself from emotion by reminding yourself that you have arguments to stay calm and to heal, and be the wise one, in cases like this. And if people go through a difficult understanding of what needs to be done, give them the time. Change is a process, not a result, and it requires time. People may need to change, but it takes a while for them to see this and to begin to work on themselves. So that's very common. That happens a lot. The best thing you can do with a family member is to gently push that family member towards the change they need to make in becoming more patient, in offering unconditional support. And you know what? Wear their shoes, as they say, be kind for everybody you meet, because you fight a battle. They fighting a battle you don't know too much about. It's always like this. So that's significant for you to know. You must try to imagine, how it is to walk in someone else's shoes and someone else's path of life. Think of that way. They might be judgmental, hypocritical, annoying, but they might go through something that you don't understand or you don't know. So give them the benefit of a doubt. And I can continue on and here, but I'd love to talk to Susan. Hi, my lovely Susan. Thank you for calling me. How can I help today?
Hi, Carmen. Yeah, we have I'm number 10 of 10. So
yes.
I've always tried to be the peacekeeper, but sometimes
sometimes it's hard. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So last time was my oldest sister was cleaning out. My mom had passed away and didn't communicate with everybody, and got rid of without letting other people process their grief. So I brought it up to my dad and my brother. I did it gently, but I think that I think things are changing for the good.
Yeah, I believe that. Absolutely believe that.
We had my dad's 90th birthday last week, and it went really well.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Happy birthday to an amazing dad.
Yeah, especially raising 10 kids and retiring at 55.
My God, that's so amazing. My grandfather did. He raised 11 children, yeah. And he did it on his own because his wife died after giving birth at 42 to the 11th child. She died, and he raised all those kids till he reached closer to his 90th. But that was also something that I will never forget. That's so impressive. So your dad is the same amazing person. It's just so incredibly beautiful and magical to be able to to do that and do it with grace and reach the age of 90. What a blessing. What a blessing.
Yeah, it was we're all very thankful and grateful.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess I'm struggling a little with, I know you told me this is my karmic year and my birthday will be next month. So I'm still kind of trying to stay open to a new relationship and where that's going to go.
Are you doing something about that? Are you trying to bring a new relationship into your life? Are you working on that? Because, and when I say working on that, I want you to look back at what has happened. I want you to look at every aspect that you've been going through and ask yourself, am I acting differently? What will I change, so that I don't create the situation that I've created in the past? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So pay attention to that. It's going to make a world of a difference, because you want to attract somebody way different and way better for yourself. And I'm absolutely confident that that's going to happen, especially when somebody is in a karmic year, talking about the concept of karma. Year 4 is a karmic year. Year 8 is a karmic year. So I don't know which one you're in, but you are experiencing something that will bring you a person in your life coming from, I think, a prior experience, a prior incarnation. I believe that.
So when it's in a karmic year, is it a karmic relationship? Is it something that will last? Or
yes, it's karmic. So there are big implications. So when we're in karmic years, we bring people that come in our life from other lives we had. And definitely from the start, that relationship becomes karmic, meaning you guys will have a feeling of knowing each other. You will have a feeling of a connection more powerful than any other connection. So, yeah, that is significant for you to know. That's why I mentioned, that's why we've discussed it, for you to become aware the person coming into your life right now may, without a doubt, be somebody that you have to be with and have to resolve issues of the past, and you're going to feel so much better when you're going to do all of that.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot more exercising, getting out, and being in different atmospheres, but I still haven't come across this person yet. So.
Yeah, because I think that everything comes with our participation. I feel very strong that you need to participate, You need to get yourself more active, more involved in making something possible. I mean, for instance, somebody is born to write a book, but if you don't write it, like I always felt like I am supposed to write books, but I had to put a lot of effort in writing them, Or somebody's supposed to be, I don't know, in a position of power or a CEO or something, or have 10 kids. Look at your dad. He participated. He did everything to make those kids live a good life, to have them, to experience the joy of such a wonderful family. So everything comes when you get involved and you acknowledge what you have to go through and you are excited about, and you make it all happen.
Okay. Yeah, I've been working on, just exercising and getting out, going to the pool.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Yeah, that's excellent. That opens the door. So going out, going to the pool, going anywhere, in your area, even at the market, even in a store to buy something, even going to a restaurant, wherever you go, you give yourself the chance to connect, to meet somebody. Do everything in your power to bring somebody into your life. If you stay in the house, you lock the doors, then nothing will happen. The more you go out, the more you raise the chances of meeting the person who's actually meant to come into, and who's meant to come into your life will come anyhow, no matter what.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time, Carmen.
Okay, my beautiful Susan. Thank you so much for calling me, and I really appreciate you a lot.
Okay.
So have a wonderful weekend, and let me know and call anytime. Okay, my love.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, my sweetheart. Bye, my love. So we were talking before, Susan, about what can we actually do to heal a family issues and to create that bond, to bring back the balance, the stability that should define any family. And one way of doing it is be aware of external influences. There are a lot of influences, that cause family drama. For instance, you might have a problem with your mother just because of your sister, because your sister argues with your mother because of the pressure. So there are all kinds of elements that intertwine that, I think I'm going to take Mary and I will leave it for the next week to talk much more about external influences. Hi, my lovely Mary. How are you, my dear?
Hi, Carmen. How are you? Thank you for connecting with all of us. So nice to hear your voice.
Oh, I love you, Mary. Thank you so much for calling me. It's such a pleasure to speak with you. And just because I don't have too many minutes left on the show, just feel free to ask me so I can answer your question as fast as I can.
Yes, I just have a quick question about my son's school. He didn't seem to get his first choice for school. Do you think a miracle could happen?
Yes. So he was denied or rejected. What happened exactly?
Well, he's quite long in the wait list, like 90 something.
Okay, but is he on the waiting list? Is he on the waiting list?
The wait list has already closed.
Oh, he closed. So he's not on that waiting list.
Yeah, they closed the wait list already.
Mm-hmm. Is this the only school he wants to go through?
Well, we are asked to pick a few, not just one, but this seems like the favorite one. I feel bad pestering the school.
Right. I don't know what really happened here because I feel like he was supposed to be going through the school. But if it's not this school, I personally am confident there will be a school as good as this one. And probably later on, he will understand why was the other school and not this school. So he shouldn't be demoralized. He shouldn't be, how should I call it, too depressed or upset about not getting in this school in particular, because it means there is something else. There can be something else even better. That's my take on it. There is a different opportunity as good as this one. He just has to see it and he just has to accept it. I think your son is brilliant. I think he will do extremely well. I think he will do even better in the other school. So I'm asking, feel free to call me after the show or whenever you want, tonight or tomorrow, just to finish the conversation, okay? I want to give you more, but I don't have the show is ending in 2 seconds. So I love you, Mary. Please call me.
I love you more.
Please.
Thank you so much. Bye.
I love you, my love. So I'm Carmen Harra. I'm at the end of the show, and I'll be with you next Friday, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on KMET Radio 1490, affiliated to ABC. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Carmen Harra. I'll be with you next week.
You have been listening